Hello and welcome back to the Ayo Homestead. If you're new here, I am Wangeshi. If you're not new here, I'm still Wangeshi. I realized I have not actually, I don't actually do those introductions. I put you in the pocket. And I get some more for my tea. So this new place we were living in at the time, my partner hasn't had to deal with balcony gardens, but I have kitchen gardens, small ones, because that's where I started. I started with like a balcony garden and I did a lot with it and I was so proud of myself. When we came here, we were given permission by the owner, who is his nephew, my partner's nephew, to do a lot of what we wanted with like the outside and a lot of the inside. Not what we wanted, like, oh, change up the house. No, like clean it up. And if we found anything we thought we wanted, we would ask, like, oh, do you need this, or can we dispose of it, can we burn it, can we repurpose it for something else? No, this place looked a mess. Even if it's not for YouTube, I would still have recorded this for my own self, for my own posterity, just to see where we were from and where we reached at the end of the video, because whoa. And then we just started this garden like as a joke. And see how dusty they are. I was really trying to record while still taking greens for the house. See how dusty they are. This place was so dusty. Like, it was so dusty. We were really trying. I was so proud of this mint. Turns out, by the way, mint has like times when it just dies out and then it comes back. And I really thought that this was like in places where there's winter and all that. Turns out it happens even here. Very shocked. Just look at them, just look at them, just in buckets, just looking all nice. So our days continued as I planned more of the garden. There's usually this first beginning part where you just want to get everything down, which is what is happening with the garden we have right now. We're just putting everything down so that we can tell ourselves the garden has started. But here I was just journaling and thinking about the garden and thinking about everything we wanted, because we also wanted a chicken coop, which is in another video that I've already posted, because we still did make that chicken coop. I really think this video should have come before that one. And here is the garden in better lighting. And also you see all this, like the small ones, a lot of small leaves that look like seedlings that have started. A lot of that was tomatoes. Like, that's the time we really wanted to do the cherry tomatoes. We just collected like some of the, what is it called? It was so hard to find the seeds. So when I found like the forest ones, nyanya mwitu, I don't know whether you know them. We didn't even eat them. The first thing we did was just collect the seeds and just put them in the pots. And these ones will actually come to like take over. They took over, and at the end, most of what we had was just tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. And this plant, just tomatoes are just as delicate as they are. They're volunteers, and especially when you have pigs, the pig poop just comes with like automatic tomato seed. It's the weirdest thing. Even if you don't feed it tomatoes, it will show up, I promise. Now here, look at my mint at their healthiest. My mint at their healthiest. They're looking so nice though. Honestly, this may seem like a few greens, but it really did help a lot. Honestly, they help. We were in a really bad place when we were here, and this helped with like a third, and at one point 2/3 of the greens we used to consume. Like, it was such a huge help in like bulking up our food. And I don't know, it just helped. Okay, it just helped. Even with like the mental strain, gardening helped. And having small projects to do when we are out of work, it really did help for us not to go under and to go into like mentally bad places. As a person that has been gardening for several years, I cannot say I have been the most successful. I'm about to tear up, because remembering where we were, it's just it was a bad place. But this helped a lot, and I have nothing to add. I really want to emphasize on that. Hata babangu nilifika nikamwambia ati mtu anaweza kula ati leaves za waru, akaniambia si ndio, wakati yako unajua. And I'm like, I think it was on you to teach me, okay? But I didn't say it obviously, because I would get a whooping. I'm gonna go yote. Please. Live long and prosper. I'm sorry. Dada. Do you think I'm bad? Do you? Sasa hizi waru zinamea hapa zikitaka nini na sina enough container for them. What do they want? Huh? Zinataka tu zikuliwe kama greens. It's alright.
Mpaka mbosho zinakuliwa.
Yes, ndio uliniambia juzi.
Sasa kuna weeds fulani zikuliwa.
Sasa muone
hizi zote zenye tunazimwaga.
Acha uongo kweli?
Hata tena. Mimi nilijua na bibi ya chief. Unaona bibi ya chief ndio beshte yako. Shai tupikie chakula hapo hivyo tukiwa na huyo kijana wake. Alafu unajua alituliza hata tumekuta. Akatuambia na vile zilikuwa tamu. Hata hapo vitu zote alienda kwa shamba akatuletea zenye amepika.
Guy, I think she should teach me a few things. She has a garden.
Yes.
A shamba.
Nice.
She can teach me a few things.
Kwa mpaka alikuwa ameweka mpaka.
Nini shida? Nini shida? Ama ni
si shida.
Ni kuna pimples, niache kujudge. I'm sorry. You want to judge my plants? What anyone? I'm growing. Anyway. This thing is regrow. It is a good one.
Sawa.
Yeah, acha nisiachie hizo. Oh, this one.
Hata hiyo terere.
Yeah. That's a rare cow. That's a rare. Sasa utasema nini? Hiyo saa ingine unalaumu mingi nini? Sasa utasema ni nini nikwambia I am like this? Wewe ukajiambia no, she is not.
Ni hivyo.
Ndio. Zini weeds. Zinakuliwa. Starting a whole new phase of this project. I'm so excited.
So these are my siblings. Carrying.
Go. What's happening?
Guys. 1, 2, 3, go. Wacheni nisonge mbele.
Once the soil came in, it was go time. Just go. We wanted to plant coriander. We wanted. Karembo.
Sasa hiyo nilikuwa kilia nikimaliza.
So much better than vinyl because strings everywhere. This Kiambu soil is delicious. Look at it. I understand why people eat soil. I do. I understand. Look at it. Look, it's like a red velvet cake. Every time I want to taste this soil. Every time. I swear. When you're from Nyeri, like me, where? If there is proof that you're Nyeri. Other than wanting to eat the soil, it is actually amazing. It is amazing and it is light and it's gorgeous, okay? It's gorgeous. So we planted coriander over here. And I have no end. Just continue watching. Just look at my dainty hands just moving. I have a farmer's hands. know that that's a compliment or an insult. I don't even know where that came from. It's just, I'm so used to people telling me, oh, hii mikono yako haikai ni kaya mtu amefanya kazi. Well, now there's proof. There's actually visual proof. I know, what that tulikuwa nabeba watu watatu hapa kwa nini? Zinahitaji kutransplantiwa. Like today. My minties. Honestly, I don't know how people wear deras without like shorts and vests inside. Like how it's just so free flowing. Like the wind is everywhere, and I'm like, so what if the wind is moving with bugs? Are they gonna be everywhere too? It's paranoid thinking, and I know that part, but it doesn't mean I can stop myself from thinking that. So here I was in my dera in my shorts. We were transplanting a couple of plants, and since we had the sacks for it, tulikuwa na magunia za hizi vitu. So tukaamua, we transplant them and then they can stay along the edges of a fence. Actually beside the sack, hapo hivyo kando ya hiyo gunia, there is like several aloe vera plants that we cut off, and then we propagated them, and we didn't actually think they'd make it. I think it was because of overwatering. These plants were just outside the house, and every day I had to garden, so I was pruning, I was watering. I think I was overdoing the things I was doing. It was all I could do not to go insane. Anyway, so we needed to transplant. So that is what I was doing here. Supports were needed, and luckily we keep collecting ropes from everywhere. Every time I see a rope, I'm like, it's gonna help with my trellis, itasaidia kuinua nyanya. It's just the fact that they now have cucumbers and okra and watermelons. They all need trellises, and now it's worse. Like, my obsession is worse. I even see something for wrapping a gift, and I'm like, this can absolutely close my... Cannot remember what I was about to say. I've just remembered this water looked like it had tadpoles. It did have tadpoles. Look at that soil. How do you not want to eat this soil? How? It's like plants just laying on a bed of velvet cake. Hey, what are you talking about? This plant is really precious to me. So I think in 3 days tutakuja tutoe. The rope that actually is about to be used here is a shoelace from one of the things we were burning up. And we looked at it and we were like, okay, some of this will actually help the plants we are about to grow. So you see, it's just a reuse, reduce, recycle kind of pattern. And also, what the hell are you going to use for a trellis if not just old rope that is everywhere? Utu kamba twakufunga kila kitu. These kambas everywhere. Here are the tadpoles. Look at them moving inside the water. Look at them. Look at them. Oh! Manadi nikasikia dhidi. But like, at least this was what we were using for plants, not for drinking. Because there's a time that there was a severe lack of water in that place and we were even lucky to get this. But this wasn't that time. This was us just trying to use some water that had rained, and it had rained in one of the containers that we had over there for fetching water to water. Fetching water to water. Anyway, we continued planting because any container, bucket, anything I got, I just made it into a planter. I don't know. I don't know whether that means there's something wrong with me, because I almost asked, I don't know what is wrong with me, and then I realized the question can't be framed like that. Even this scoop that I am using, it's actually a bottle that we collected and reused for something else. The lower part is being used by the chicken for water. But yes, our whole motto is reuse, reduce, recycle. But I think sometimes we go too far and we end up with a lot of plastics that we are not using and weren't even meant to just be in your space. This situation right here is one of the reasons I love the deras, because you're not going to have a space in the middle of your back that flies can just come and sit on, and every time you just feel like hitting your own back. And actually I hit my back several times until I wanted to go and wear it back. But nilitegwa, at some point I fell on one of these containers and it was so painful, and I had to remove it because it was making me clumsier than usual. Generally, I'm very, very clumsy. But with a dera on in places that you have to keep maneuvering, it just didn't seem like it was making sense. So I just removed it. But I suffered. And then the sunlight on your back, it is a disaster. So we finished organizing the new side where the garden would be, and the whole entire day was just us trying to decide what tomato seedlings look enough and strong enough to like stand a whole pot on their own, because so many were still left in the original pots and they just kept suffocating each other there. But they overwhelmed us. We wanted the seed for certain, so that we can have cherry tomatoes flowing in our soils, like we can have easy access to it. It can start volunteering. We even gave some to the pigs, and now cherry tomatoes are on the place we're living now, the underside. Okay, Kiada Gitu, like the place now where the garden is. There's so many, and even when you put things on them like to try and suffocate them, they grow on the sides. It is amazing how they've refused to just end. I love them so much. I like how annoying they are. So this dying plant next to the pink bucket, the one I am holding right now, that one, it really looked like it was dying, but then there were some nodes on the stem when I cut it, because I cut it. That is another mistake I did on that day. I just cut it from, like, I was trying to uproot it slowly the way he was doing, and then it just cut. And this is the one that actually held the roots quicker than any other that was transplanted on this day, and the way they looked much more strong. Like, he said it wouldn't make it, and it did. It did, and I was so happy because I'd taken such a huge risk. Hi. Honestly, the place looked beautiful. The only thing that was left was to bring the chickens, which we didn't. We moved before we could do that, but there was space for them, and I was happy. And there was a fireplace, and there was a garden, and it was so nice. So far, I have loved most the imperfect projects we do for ourselves. In other news, my brother and I scrubbed this car. When the day it brought a lot of sacks, we scrubbed this car. I was in tears. Here are some internet hacks I was trying out. Honestly, if you've been here for the whole video, thank you. Come again. Goodbye.